Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good. Tonight, we're going to be hanging out for a couple of hours and I'm going to be doing my weekly discussion stream. I have a bunch of different things that I want to talk about. Some that are going to be like quick topics that I touch on. Others are going to be things that I probably will cover in videos. A lot's kind of happened over the past few days. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Hawkeye. Now, as you guys know, I'm not the biggest Hawkeye fan, but I thought with the new show, going into it with an open mind, it's a great idea. I'm always up for good new content. Learning about characters that maybe I haven't cared about in the past. And well, Hawkeye's not doing so great on Disney Plus. It's not doing all that amazing, and the show itself so far is not that amazing either. So I definitely want to talk about Hawkeye because I've got some thoughts on it. That's probably a topic I'm gonna be covering in a video. I want to read this Vice article that came out a couple of days ago, and listen, I've talked about Cowboy Bebop a couple times now. In Cowboy Bebop, truly and genuinely, it wasn't good. While I think they tried to capture the essence of the original anime, and in a lot of ways they tried to make it bearable, we'll say, it fell short in a lot of areas, and it just wasn't as amazing as a lot of people hoped. But according to Vice, it wasn't supposed to be good, which is the most fucking ridiculous thing I think that I've read about Cowboy Bebop, right? Because usually they put out shows and movies and games, entertainment for them to be good, for people to like these franchises or, have that nostalgia, whatever the case may be. I think 90% of the time, companies go into things, 98% of the time, companies go into things going, this needs to be good. Not, how can we make this bad? But according to Vice, Cowboy Bebop wasn't supposed to be good. It was supposed to be different. And you know what? You just have to follow along with it. You just have to accept that this is the best that Netflix could come up with, which is absolutely fucking bonkers. I want to talk about a couple of the Twitter situations that have happened, obviously, as I'm sure a lot of you know. Twitter has a new CEO, and I wanted to read an article on his past, previously rejecting free speech in favor of healthy public conversation. And I also wanted to talk about their newest ban with sharing photos or videos of people without their permission, which we still don't have a lot of clarification on. There's still a lot of questions about this topic that are kind of up in the air, but it's at least worth it to briefly talk about, even if it's kind of in passing, just because we don't have all the details. I want to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what we're going to be discussing with Spider-Man No Way Home because it is going to contain potential spoilers. I want to talk about some of the leaks that have been put online, some of the supposed spoilers that have been put online. That's going to be my last topic of the evening, and I will give you guys a fair warning before we get into it. But we're going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home rumors, leaks, some information about it. Because listen, I like Spider-Man. In my opinion, Tom Holland is not the best Spider-Man that's ever existed. In my opinion, Tobey Maguire is way better. Andrew Garfield, also movies were better. But Spider-Man No Way Home has a lot of potential, okay? And I'm a gambler. I like the odds that we're gonna see some cool returning characters in this movie. Now, we probably fucking won't, okay? And we're probably all gonna look like fools going, oh my gosh, is this character gonna return? Is that actor gonna return? We're probably gonna look like dipshits. But I still wanted to talk about some of the supposed confirmations, leaks, rumors. And there's going to be 2 other topics that I just wanted to, like, quickly update you guys on. As you all know, I've been streaming Halo Infinite multiplayer. I've really loved Halo Infinite so far. Next week, when the campaign launches, I will be live streaming it here on the channel on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to the full game launch. But after weeks of people asking for them to fix the Battle Pass system and fix progression, they are. Which is awesome, because the team behind Halo Infinite is actually listening to consumers and changing things about the Battle Pass system and the awful progression that existed. That, for me, was my #1 complaint with Infinite's multiplayer so far, is the fact that it took fucking forever to level up the Battle Pass, unless, of course, you swiped your credit card. But they're fixing that, which is so fucking good to hear. Positive news. Very positive. And I wanted to briefly talk about Cyberpunk. We're not spending a lot of time on this because Cyberpunk still, it's been out for almost a year now. It still makes me angry because it could have been so fucking good. If they had delayed it by half a year and released it during the summer, it would have been amazing, I feel like. But it now has its highest player count in the last 9 months, which I guess is good for CD Projekt Red. Like, good on you guys. Awesome. Very, very great. Congratulations. But at the same time, I uninstalled Cyberpunk. And I also haven't felt the need to reinstall it. So that's kind of where my feelings on it lie. I've been tempted once to reinstall it and, like, replay through it. The Cyberpunk 2077 1-year anniversary live stream when, even though there's been no content released for it, besides, like, updates and bugs and glitch fixes, which is great. But fucking Cyberpunk. So those are the topics we're going to discuss. Welcome, everyone. Hope your night's going well, and we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Those are the topics for tonight. Cowboy Bebop, Twitter, Halo Infinite, Cyberpunk 2077, Hawkeye, and then Spiderman No Way Home. Yes, in the description there are links for donations. I haven't pinned it yet just because the stream had just started, but there's a Streamlabs link, YouTube memberships, PayPal, Patreon, all that fun stuff. Cyberpunk should have been a holiday 2022 title, period. I 100% agree. Cyberpunk, at its core, had a lot of elements that I really liked about it and that obviously we were all excited for. And I felt like if they had waited half a year to a year and really polished the game, fixed a bunch of the systems, maybe even changed some of the systems or added some of that content that they had removed because they were so squeezed for time, I truly feel like Cyberpunk could have been such an amazing game because we were all hyped for it for years. Like, we all fucking thought that we were still gonna be playing that goddamn game today. We thought a year, no shot. That game will be played for 5-6 years. We thought Cyberpunk was gonna be the next Grand Theft Auto 5. Everyone, put your fucking clown noses on because holy shit. I played it twice, and that was enough for me. I'll replay it when they finally put out new content for it. And again, I've been tempted to reinstall it. But honk, we look stupid. Everyone thought there's going to be so many in-depth amazing systems. All the NPCs are going to matter. You're going to have transit systems that are going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be the next Grand Theft Auto 5. Honk. We predicted the future right with Cyberpunk, guys. We really did. I feel so disappointed with Cyberpunk, and we're not gonna rant about it too much. I just want to read the brief article to you guys about it. Man, Cyberpunk. Not gonna talk about that yet. But hi guys, hope your evening's going well. I saw a headline from PC Gamer complaining about the more romantic scenes, and I'm wondering if the writer was even old enough to play the game. There's been a lot of news about Cyberpunk recently because it actually... it got nominated for some, you know, Game of the Year type awards, like RPG and, like, designs and, like, best direction. I still like the concept of Cyberpunk. I still feel like maybe in 3 years, once they've actually released a bunch of content, maybe it'll be absolutely great. We're 11 months, almost a year after launch, and we've received no major updates. And the timelines for content have been pushed off by a year. So, yeah, it's not very positive. Let me scroll up. But yeah, I do agree. Cyberpunk should have been a holiday release. Thanks 343. Now give us additional modes and an option to save custom games present players make. Oh, I agree. I think that there's still, from what it seems with Infinite, there's a lot that they could do that they haven't done yet, and I hope that they continue to listen to player feedback. So when are you going to finally leave Twitter? Maybe one day. I don't know. It's nothing as you guys probably see, it's nothing I excessively use. I mainly just use Twitter for posting video links, live stream links, and occasionally giving my thoughts on stuff. But the thing with Twitter is that there are people who revolve around Twitter, right? There are people who constantly use Twitter to, like, see news, and while, yeah, it's a good tool for that, honestly, as an individual, if I wasn't using Twitter to, like, promote my content or have another way to get my content to people, if I was just, like, a normal person, I wouldn't use Twitter. Like, Twitter sucks. I'm not a huge fan of Twitter. Twitter sponsorship is never gonna happen, and I am A-okay with that. It's a good way to keep up with, like, developers and projects, but Twitter is just a disappointment. Honestly, I wish there were more Twitter alternatives. Things like Minds are not bad, but the communities are just so much smaller. Like Minds. I like Minds. Minds isn't bad. I post my content there. That's all that I use it for, and it's not bad. It just, the reach isn't there. The size of the platform just isn't there right now. And there's been other alt tech sites that have come and gone, or platforms that have come and gone. Unfortunately, a lot of them have failed for specific reasons. I mean, look at Parler. I think Parler's technically back online now, but I wouldn't go back. Cyberpunk 2077 should have allowed you to start your own gang/mob. Yeah, that's the problem, like Brian said, is that was a system that they were going to put into the game that they ended up scrapping, just like the transit system. There were supposed to be, like, these different subway/train systems. They ended up scrapping those. Like, as you're going through the game, you can see specific parts where clearly there's, like, a train track there, like a subway track there that is unused. There's still pieces of that in the game that they just never finished. There's a lot of features in Cyberpunk that they removed because they didn't have the time. Minds, I don't hate the UI, but it definitely is cluttery. I feel like it tries to be similar to Twitter, but it doesn't quite nail it. I feel like it is a little cluttered, off-putting. It's still a decent platform, but yeah. The user base just isn't there right now. I'm glad I wasn't able to buy Cyberpunk. Well, Cyberpunk, you can now get, it was for Black Friday, it was on sale for $10. Like, buy it for $10. It's Cyberpunk, in my opinion, it's worth $10. But was it worth $60? no. I felt like in the state that it launched when it was released for $60, it was not worth $60. The foundation and the ideas were there, but the way that they implemented those things just wasn't perfect. Guys, we're starting with the first topic of the night, which is not Cyberpunk. Tonight, we're going to start off with Cowboy Bebop. Another topic I've talked about many times. Another topic that I have a lot of opinions on. Now, I love the original Cowboy Bebop anime. I've talked about it many times. But the live action definitely wasn't as amazing as we were all hoping. Now, did we have high expectations for live action Cowboy Bebop? No. I'm not that much of a clown. I knew that it was most likely going to be a complete and utter failure. And I felt like it tried in some areas, and like some of it was spot on. Like some of the dialogue with Faye, pretty good. Accurate to Faye. Some of the, interactions between like Jet and Spike, some of those interactions were really spot on as well. Some of the settings didn't seem that bad. But overall, it failed to capture the essence of what made the original anime really, really amazing. And I felt like it just kind of slacked. But according to Vice, Cowboy Bebop wasn't supposed to be good. Which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think I've heard of a company making something like this and going, you know what, we don't want it to be good. Because they want people to like the franchise, to be interested in another season, maybe spin-offs, try to sell a product. And if they say, well, it's not supposed to be good, that's not going to give people confidence and that's not going to sell a product. Really quickly, thank you for the 2-month membership, 2 glorious months. Thank you for the support, much appreciated. But yeah, according to Vice, this is an archive, by the way, because I would not use a non-archive. Archive. Netflix's Cowboy Bebop isn't supposed to be good. The live-action adaptation sins are numerous, but sometimes you just gotta follow the music. That's gonna be a no from me. I don't look at things and go, it's so bad. But that's okay, because you know what? Who the fuck cares about source material? Who cares about this being good? I don't do that. I want things to be good. I want them to be accurate, like with this. While yes, in some parts of it they try to differentiate it from the original, they also clearly tried to find that essence of the original and try to recreate it, and it just didn't work. It says, there was a time in my life when Netflix's live-action Cowboy Bebop would have offended and enraged me to no end. But if there's one thing the original 98 anime series taught me, the year that I was born, it's that sometimes you just gotta go with the flow. That means, guys, that we just have to accept the fact that this live-action's really shitty and disrespects the source material. Because that's what Vice wants. So you know what? I can do it. If I want to have a career with Vice one day, I have to just, this article's great. I have to shill these articles. Just imagine how sad your life has to be to shill articles like this and say, you know what? This is a great article. This is a 20 out of 10. Yikes. This thought popped into my head over and over while I watched Netflix's rendition of the classic series, which recently premiered on the streaming platform and is easily one of the most divisive adaptations in recent memory. While it, yes, was very divisive, I wouldn't say it was one of the most, because we've seen so many reboots, remakes, continuations over the past, let's say, even 5 years, that have been super, super conflicting with audiences, that have been super divisive. I mean, we're talking about a lot of them. Yes, this was definitely one of the, one of the adaptions that made people very upset and very angry. I 100% agree with that. But it says it's easy to see why. The anime series has achieved sacred status among countless fans, and I've been one of them ever since the jazzy intro credits first flashed across my screen years ago. Through 26 episodes, the series sways across a variety of genres and moods like a dusty old record collection, slapstick sci-fi to spaghetti western, crime noir. But the true magic of the original series is how it becomes far greater than the sum of its collective homages. Deep and memorable characters, masterful pacing and tone, and an unforgettable jazz soundtrack all contributed to why this series still has so many diehard fans today. It's very true. In my opinion, Cowboy Bebop is one of the better anime to exist. It's one of my personal favorites. I really liked the visuals in it, and like the setting, the atmosphere that it set. I really liked the characters, their interactions, the setting. Overall, it was just very unique, and that's what I really liked about it. But it says it's a tough act to follow, arguably impossible when you're making the jump from animation to live action. I agree with this, that it was basically an impossible thing to do. I don't think anyone truly believed that they would be able to take Cowboy Bebop and turn it into an amazing live action. And that's the thing, is when something is so good and so amazing, do you need to take it and try to recreate it and remake it and reimagine it? In my opinion, no. With Cowboy Bebop, the original anime was absolutely fucking amazing, but it was amazing for a reason that wouldn't work in live action. And you could take the original series and turn it into a live action and make it very different, like toning down the fight scenes and making them seem more realistic. It's the word that they've been using, realism, you know, changing the outfits to look more realistic, changing characters like Ed to make them more realistic. But then is it Cowboy Bebop? No, it's not. They could have tried to go in a drastically different direction, but with the live action, it's like they lost their way. They lost that spark they had at the beginning of the project when they were thinking about it, and they went, you know, we should try to get this. It's like it just didn't come across well. It was very messy. I feel like that for me is the best way to describe the live action, and it's just messy. It's like they didn't have a clear plan, a clear vision. They didn't want to go full on with realism or full on with recreating the original. It's like they went half one direction, half another, and it just didn't work, in my opinion. When season 2 comes out, I'm going to watch it because I want to see how they're going to wrap up this story, or if they're going to make any drastic changes, just like I did with season 1. I tried to give it a fair chance. But yikes, it's not good. It says, like many anime adaptations before it, Neo Bebop's sins are numerous, from the cringe-worthy script to its awkward attempts at mimicking the animation's original style. Much of it is painful to watch if you're coming from the source material, and you can find plenty of video essays on YouTube where fans pick apart the new series and compare scenes to their original counterparts. Everything is dissected, from the writing and backstories to the poor use of lighting during the battles. It says, from watching these analysis, one gets the sense that the showrunners either don't understand what made the original special or are purposefully not trying to capture it. It's hard because I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they just truly couldn't recreate it. But at the same time, the writers, the showrunners, the actors, everyone behind this project has been pretty fucking terrible. They have disrespected fans, disregarded our opinions on it, basically said, oh, haters gonna hate and they're just gonna be angry no matter what we do, instead of actually listening to the things that we wanted or we thought were going to work. I'd love to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, they tried, it just didn't work. But at the same time, for me, it's like, too bad, so sad. You were the idiots who tried to create it. It says, though, at times this dynamic is so ridiculous it just works. John Cho and Shakir have plenty of on-screen chemistry as Spike and Jet, and their banter often manages to capture the original characters while punching through the tedious script. It's not high art, and I wouldn't even necessarily call it good. But in its best moments, Netflix's Bebop is truly an unhinged remix that puts classic characters through a nostalgic funhouse mirror you can't look away from. If I wasn't a YouTube creator, I would look away. I tried to watch Cowboy Bebop and I gave it a chance because I made videos about it. I like the original. I love the original, I should say. And I wanted to give this a fair shot. But if I was not a YouTube creator and I didn't have to watch all of it through, I would have clicked off. It was just not good. It was a disaster. It was a mess. Again, there were moments where it felt like this could work, and then there's a scene or two after that make you shake your head and go, I was wrong, this can't work. There's just so many things that cannot translate well to live action. It says that's definitely not what Cowboy Bebop was in '98, but maybe it's what needs to be right now. In 2021, the world is on fire. Climate change and failing institutions are upending our lives, and we are still living through the collective trauma of an ongoing global pandemic that has killed millions of people. Wow, guys, we went from 1 to 100 very quickly. They start off writing about Cowboy Bebop and then go, you know what? Maybe we need something to be terrible right now because the world's on fire. Okay, guys, sure. After the nightmare of these past few years, I would have welcomed the chance to experience a well-executed adaptation of the classic anime series, but I also welcome the opportunity to turn off my brain and just vibe with familiar characters in a flawed and ridiculous setting. That's my problem, is that I've seen series that, and it's the way I wanted this live action to be. Like Firefly. It's the one example I use, and you guys might disagree with me. I know there's a lot of people who didn't like Firefly. I liked Firefly. I felt like that was the direction that they needed to go with Cowboy Bebop, because the original series, yes, it had a lot of humor, it had a lot of comedy, it had over-the-top characters and writing and dialogue, but it also had very serious tones. Look at the backgrounds and the backstories of all these characters. They all went through a bunch of fucking traumatic shit. Look at the world that they're in and the universe that they're trying to tell us exists. I felt like they should have went in a more serious direction with those notes of comedy. Then let's make this a giant fucking joke of a show with a little bit of seriousness. Was it that hard to do? Apparently. Yeah, guys, world's on fire, climate change, failing institutions, millions of people dead. It says, one of the original series' overarching themes is about not taking life too seriously, going with the flow, and accepting things as they are. The characters frequently find themselves stumbling into things through dumb luck, only to lose it before the episode ends, and that's true. It's not a lie. And yes, I wish that they had kept that, and they did. But we're also, again, talking about very serious tones that the original had. It says maybe that's why it felt silly and a bit ironic to get upset about the live-action adaptation. It makes perfect sense that so many people are attached to the original series and disappointed by Netflix's misfire, but sometimes you just have to embrace the world as it is and try to find the tiny nuggets of joy hidden within. They do not, at all, whatsoever, give any fucking examples of what was done well, or what they felt like, you know what, even though it's different and it's not perfect, it's unique and that's good enough for me. They just say, oh, the overarching theme is about not taking life too seriously, go with the flow. So they're basically saying just shut up, consume product, and move on. This is an absolutely fucking dumb article. It's not supposed to be good, according to Vice. Vice, the end-all be-all source of knowledge on the internet, right? And they put in this section, like I had read, that's not even about Cowboy Bebop. It's not even about what makes the show new, unique, interesting, even if it's a different take on the original. No. They're just going on about 2021 and their problems with 2021 and why they think 2021 is such a shit year. So that's why we shouldn't be critiquing Netflix's Cowboy Bebop. Absolutely terrible article. I'd honestly give this article a 1 out of 10, and that's being generous. So that's all that I really had to talk about with this topic. I think that articles like this are really, really dumb, but I wanted to read it for the comedic value. Because who thought that this article was truly just a stroke of genius? They didn't even explain how it's not supposed to be good, why it's okay that it's not good. Besides, 2021 sucks, so just accept it, consume product, and move on. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that. Next, we're going to move on to such a better topic, fucking Twitter. Great, amazing, wonderful, such a better topic, wow. Honestly, if there's another Cowboy Bebop article I could read, I'd rather read that. I'd rather. If I could read a Vice article about Cowboy Bebop, or Twitter's new CEO rejecting free speech in favor of healthy public conversation, I'd choose Cowboy Bebop. 100%. The show is not supposed to be good, and neither is this article. Actually true, though. A stroke, maybe, but no genius. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, I don't go to Vice for my 411 entertainment scoop to get the most knowledgeable sources, okay? I don't go to Vice thinking I'm reading an article that's gonna change my life, right? And that's why I'm using an archive, because I didn't want to give them my click, but wow. They've outdone themselves this time, guys. That's truly such an amazing article, don't you think? I mean, wouldn't expect anything different. Vice. Jeez. Let me scroll up. Yeah, we're going to talk about Twitter in a minute. We're going to be talking about 2 Twitter situations. They're going to be relatively quick just because they're not like this situation with them banning videos and photos. We don't know a lot about it, but I still wanted to briefly talk about it because probably next week we'll have some more information on it, hopefully. Who fucking knows? But I still wanted to briefly reference these situations, like I do with some topics. But let me scroll up for a second. Hey Vara, any chance you will play SMT5? It's a great story game for stream. I purchased it and have been playing it off stream. I don't think I'm gonna stream it, just because it is a longer game. And that's the problem, is that while yes, I'm having fun with it, and I would stream it, it's a longer game, and I try to save longer games on streams for like more nostalgic / classic games or brand new games that are super hyped. SMT, I felt like a lot of people weren't as excited with it, and it was a game that I was gonna primarily play off stream. Unless I finish it off stream and go, this is amazing. You know, right now I don't have any plans to stream it. Oh, you guys and your reactions to these articles. Hey, you know what, guys? I pick the best articles. Truly, genuinely. I always pick the best topics, the best articles. I mean, I'm kind of a genius. Honestly. I mean, this article, we just sat through that. You guys were entertained. I can't believe trash like this is published. The writer should be horribly ashamed for bending over this far for Netflix. Netflix's Bebop. Yeah, it's a bit of a disaster. I have no interest. John Cho is cool but not interesting. That's my thing, is that I felt like he's a good actor, don't get me wrong. He just wasn't Spike, in my opinion. I felt like Shakir was good as Jet. And Faye, Daniela Pineda, in my opinion, is not Faye. Ein, best casting in years I've seen. And, well, Ed, you know. Not it. Again, they talk for months about realism, and then they throw that out the window when it's time for Ed. Yeah, guys. I have a Twitter, as I'm sure you guys know. I share things on Twitter, my links to my content. But if I was just a normal consumer, I wouldn't use Twitter. I do not really like Twitter all that much. But I do think it's a good tool as a content creator because there are a lot of people who use the platform. But, as I'm sure a lot of you have heard, Twitter has a new CEO. And this is someone who's been with the company for a while. They're not someone brand new. But I wanted to read briefly this new CEO's stance on some very important things like free speech. Because you all already know he's the new CEO. It was announced yesterday. There's been a lot of rumors and a lot of speculation as to why he was appointed. But Twitter's new CEO, Clown World, previously rejected free speech in favor of healthy public conversation. He also wished the company had censored some content sooner. Now, I'm not leaving Twitter right this second, but I'm always looking for alternatives, and I use things like Minds. I've tried Parler in the past. And I do think that it's time for platforms to step it up, listen to people, listen to users, implement new features that people are really going to use. Because we have people like this running these companies, making decisions. And I honestly, I don't care if one day Twitter ceased to exist. If one day they just decide to shut Twitter down, that'd be sucky, you know, for the people who use it to create content on, or the people like me that obviously reach out to their audiences in that way and post links. It's another way to share my content because YouTube hates to share my content. But would I cry myself a river? No, I wouldn't, because Twitter kind of sucks. I will never get a Twitter sponsorship, and I don't care. But this is a Reclaim the Net article, just like the next article that I wanted to show off is. It says, in a far-reaching November 2020 interview, Twitter's new CEO, who was the company's chief technology officer, or the CTO, at the time rejected free speech protections that are enshrined in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, wished the company had censored QAnon sooner, and touted the company's approach of censoring content based on potential for harm. This is who was appointed. I know a lot of people were like, you know what, maybe they're gonna appoint someone good. Maybe they're gonna appoint someone who cares about its users and the company and blocka. But we know how these companies are. We know how these platforms are and the people who run these platforms, and we know that it's all bullshit. And it's nothing new with this situation. It says our role is not to be bound by the First Amendment, but our role is to serve a healthy public conversation, and our moves are reflective of things that we believe lead to a healthier public conversation. Now, obviously, things like healthier public conversations are good. Those aren't bad things. It's not like, I want to go on social media and have everyone fucking attack each other. Obviously, like I say in a lot of my videos and my content, we should be able to speak like adults. If your opinion is different than mine, that's okay. You should be able to voice your opinion, say, I disagree with you, but I respect you as a human being and move on. But we know that's not how the internet is. So, the idea of everything online and on social media being healthy, and public conversations being healthy, that's great. But we know that doesn't just mean everyone starts getting along. We know that doesn't just mean everything suddenly changes and everyone finally realizes, you know what, we should treat each other nicely. Fuck no. It means more report buttons, more censorship, more, people's opinions being hidden that platforms don't agree with and that individuals don't agree with. We know how that goes. There's more ways to get people kicked off of platforms and banned off of platforms. It says, he added, that the company now focuses less on thinking about free speech, but thinking about how the times have changed. So he openly admitted that who gives a fuck about free speech? We're more worried about how times have changed and how sensitive everyone is and what can we do to protect people on our platform when they really mean themselves, people that are criticized, investors, companies, corporations. We know how this shit goes. We know. This, to me, is the worst part about this. Because, right, like, if he has a political opinion that's, like, different than mine or different than our communities, that's fine. Like, people are allowed to have their own opinions. But we're not talking about someone just going on social media saying, this is my opinion and my opinion's right, and yours is wrong, because even that is shitty. But this is another level, because now he is the CEO of a company. Okay, he's now the face of a company. And he's saying things like, who cares about free speech? We care more about how the times have changed and what we can do to fit in with the times. In this context, he said the role of Twitter is increasingly moving towards recommendations and how we direct people's attention is leading to a healthy public conversation. He also noted that Twitter focuses its censorship efforts on avoiding specific harm that misleading information can cause, and claims that when it comes to COVID-19, a few people being misinformed can lead to implications on everyone. We've heard the debates about things like COVID discussions and, oh, are your sources reliable? And now Twitter, of course, marks sources that they deem not reliable, and a lot of platforms do that now. Facebook does that now. When you post something that they haven't verified themselves, it's marked as fucking misinformation. But it says he addressed Twitter's censorship of QAnon in July 2020 by wishing QAnon content had been purged from the platform earlier and touting Twitter's actions had led to a very rapid decrease in the amount of reach QAnon and related content got on the platform by over 50%. But, as I'm sure a lot of you have already heard as well, this was announced today, Twitter is now banning sharing photos or videos of people without their permission. So it's not even just cycling through words that this CTO, now CEO, has said in the past years ago, because people's opinions can change in years. They are already, now, obviously, I'm sure it's not just this guy, it's Twitter's bigger plans in general, but Twitter's making a lot of changes. Over the past 24 hours, they announced the new CEO, and they've announced this. And this, of course, is a major threat to free speech. So clearly, they picked a CEO that was gonna be their bitch boy, that was gonna agree with the things they wanted to change. Yeah. Twitter has updated its policies to ban people from posting media, photos and videos, featuring other people without their consent. We don't know how bad this is going to be for the platform. We don't know the reach that this platform is going to have, okay? That this new rule is going to have, I should say. But we can all imagine. The new rule is part of the platform's ban on sharing private information about other people and has major implications for free speech. It says in a blog post, Twitter announced expanding its private information policy, which bans the publishing of private information such as home addresses and phone numbers to now include media. Now, the thing is, in this situation, is that they're not just talking about doxing, releasing an address, releasing, leaked photos. They're talking about so many different things, and this hasn't been clarified. So there's still a lot of gray area that we don't have information on, but one can assume how bad that this could get. And the thing is that while Twitter is the first to announce they're doing this, we know how companies act. When one company changes something, other companies follow. So Twitter's doing this. Will we see YouTube do this next? Where in videos, you can't, share images of specific people because they're not considered public, entities or people who are in the public, like a Brie Larson. What about memes? Can you share memes now because that is someone's face that was, taken, screenshotted, made into a meme? Does that exist on a platform like Twitter now? We won't really know for a while. Is it public figures? Is it private individuals? Where's that line? We don't know. It says there are growing concerns about the misuse of media and information that is not available elsewhere online as a tool to harass, intimidate, and reveal the identities of individuals. Sharing personal media such as images or videos can potentially violate a person's privacy and lead to emotional or physical harm. So what happens if I'm walking down the street, right? And I find a phone on the ground. And it's Brie Larson's phone. And I take a picture of the phone. It's got her face on it, on the wallpaper or something. Is that technically, because a lot of people are raising this point, is that technically something that falls under this rule? Because while they are a public figure, it's private images and private information. We don't know if a meme online with someone's face is going to fall under these rules. How this is going to affect the future of the platform. What is this move gonna do for celebrities, for media, for journalists, for companies, for CEOs? We don't have those answers, and I'm sure at some point we'll get them, but we know how companies act, okay? This will be one of those rules that they don't enact for everyone. Certain accounts are allowed to still do what they've been doing, but certain accounts will get hit at any point they can for breaking the rules. They say it's to protect individuals, but it's giving individuals, we know what kind of individuals, journalists, media, people like that, more leeway to strike down content and take down content that hurts them or content they don't like. And there are already people on social media and online in general that break rules, that say, you know what, you showed a tweet. Like, I had a situation like this happen to me once. I'll explain it. So there was once a video I put up, and I used this person's tweet, and they had a couple thousand followers on Twitter, and their name on the account was their real name. And I showed their tweet in a video, and they messaged me and said, listen, I didn't give you permission to show my tweet. I didn't give you permission to show my photo, and I didn't give you permission to use my name in your video, so take it down or I'm going to get YouTube to take it down. I won because it's public information, but what would happen in a situation like that? Because their name is there, but it was public. Their picture's there, but it's public. There's just a lot of gray lines and gray areas that we don't know right now. But that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. Just said the blog post did not clarify how the platform will enforce the new policy, but I'm sure time will tell, and maybe next week, we'll have more information on it. And if there are any more blog posts put out, I will definitely discuss it in upcoming live streams. But that's all that I really had to discuss with that. We'll move on to Halo Infinite in a minute. This is going to be a brief, quick topic, just like the Cyberpunk topic. Just two things I kind of wanted to give updates on, briefly touch upon. But really quickly, guys, if you're enjoying the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Even though YouTube has hidden dislikes for a lot of people, still give it a dislike. It matters to me. If you're enjoying, consider donating via Streamlabs. All donations pop up. $3 or more in text-to-speech activates. Consider becoming a member via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description to Streamlabs, PayPal, Patreon, all that fun stuff. And I do really appreciate all of the support. Who knows, guys? Maybe one day I'll be kicked off of Twitter, kicked off of Discord, kicked off of YouTube, and that'll be it. You'll never see me again. Who knows? Maybe I'll share a meme one day, and I'll get all my accounts struck down. I guess we'll see. The world isn't on fire. The world is getting soft. I feel like it is a little bit of a mix. Because, like, there are a lot of issues that the world is going through, but it's always been that way. The world is always going through some fucking problem. There's always some kind of political issue. There's always some kind of issue just around the earth in general and the people that inhabit it, and species becoming endangered, and an asteroid could hit the earth. I mean, there's always something, right? There always is something. And people like to think, oh, you know, it was better a couple years ago. Was it really, though? Was it really? There have always been two sets of rules. It's not just hidden anymore. And I don't try to sit here and sound like super, like, conspiracy. I don't try to sit here and sound biased about something. Because if I truly thought that, like, this was going to be good for creators, for individuals, and this was actually going to help, I'd say I think that it's actually going to make a positive difference and it's going to be great for the platform, but it's not going to be. It's not something that is for users like they're claiming. It's to protect specific individuals, and we're seeing more and more of that happen every day. YouTube really just got rid of dislikes. They like that they can't get ratioed. I mean, yeah. The thing is that they claim that they removed dislikes or hid dislikes, because as a creator, I can still see dislikes to protect creators. They said, oh, we hid dislikes to protect creators, yet as a creator, I can still see dislikes. So how the fuck is that supposed to help me? If I'm having a mental health issue and dislikes are fucking with my mental health, it doesn't matter if it's public or not. You still see the dislikes, they're still there. It's not like they got rid of the feature completely. And I'm someone who doesn't think they should have gotten rid of the feature at all. I think they should have given people an option. Yes, if a person wants to shut off dislikes on their channel, they can. But I should be able to keep it active and on if I want to. I think it's so dumb. Christopher. The only way to reach Vara will be on her Freedom phone. When is the Chinese cell phone, the Freedom phone, supposed to come out, by the way? Whenever I see the CEO or the face of the company, whoever this guy is, whenever I see him, I just think he just went to Walmart to buy those glasses frames and that sweatshirt. I probably own that same exact sweatshirt. $500. A free speech and privacy first focused phone. Okay, sure. If you say so. November 2021, guys. Today is the last day in November 2021. If I order it right now, it'll ship in the next 4 hours. I'll have it by tomorrow. Overnight shipping it. Looking for a review copy. Congrats on having 0 dislikes for over a week plus straight. Wow. Yeah, right? I'm still gonna check every day my dislikes, even though it doesn't... To me, dislikes have never mattered all that much. I encourage people to dislike my video if they really dislike the content. If they don't think my take was right, you give it a dislike. But I've never put up content to only get the likes and, like, to only have what I think is the correct opinion. I put up my opinions on things, and if people don't like them, I mean, that's okay. You're allowed to dislike it. Like, it doesn't mean I'm gonna hide a video, though, or take it down or change my opinion. Like, the One Piece video I did a couple weeks ago, it has 230 likes, but 187 dislikes. I don't care. One of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos that kind of skyrocketed the channel, well, not skyrocketed, but initially, I mean, it's got 80k views. It has, you know, 1,500 likes, but 2,600 dislikes. Have I ever taken it down or hidden it for a day? Fuck no. What would the point be? I don't care. As a creator, I should be able to leave my dislikes on if I want, but creators, you know, should also have the option to hide them if they really want to. Guys, I have officially gone 1 year, 4 months, and 67, or not 67. It's going to say 27, but I said 67. 67 days without a dislike. Mainly because I haven't looked at the dislike counter. I mean, pat yourself on the back more. It's like YouTube wants a pat on the back for hiding the feature to protect their creators, yet they're not. Like, they're not giving me an option to have my channel the way that I want it. And I appreciate YouTube as a platform, right? Because, like, I stream on YouTube. I put videos up on YouTube. I use the platform. But it sucks as a creator to have options taken away. That sucks. Like, YouTube needs to do a lot to make the platform super positive, but I am a little happy to read about the changes that YouTube is making and the creators are bringing on. As I'm sure a lot of you know, over the past couple months, they've gotten a bunch of the larger Twitch streamers. They just got another one, which is ultimately positive for the platform. I saw it on Twitter. Fucking Twitter. Actually, I think I saw it. Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. Was it like a website? Might have been Dextero. But he put up the fucking little video, and his purple car blew up, which is supposed to be Twitch, and he gets in the red one, and he's like, can I play music in this? And they were making a joke about the DMCA shit, like, aren't I gonna get in trouble for playing music in this? And the other person in the car is like, no, you're not. And it's true, because DMCA still exists, but on Twitch you literally get your channel fucking banned and suspended and annihilated if you play music. Which I think is so dumb. That's why I never went to Twitch. Because Twitch plays the favoritism game as well. All platforms do, though, at this point. Unfortunately, it's just the way that it goes. It's not something that is going to change. I want YouTube to be a great platform, but they really need to listen to consumers a bit more. Freedom phone full of Chinese game ads, probably. Halo multiplayer sucks. I disagree. I think the Infinite multiplayer is really, really good. I'm enjoying it so far. I'll give you guys my thoughts in a second, though. But alright, let's move on to the next topic of the evening, which is going to be a quick update. Now, as you guys know, I've been streaming Halo the past couple of weeks since the beta launched. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I've really enjoyed it. I think that so far it is a great Halo experience. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the campaign. When Halo Infinite's campaign launches next week, I will be live streaming it. I'm looking forward to it, but one of the main problems I myself and a lot of other people had with Halo Infinite was the fact that the Battle Pass system was terrible. It took forever to level up the Battle Pass system. It equaled out to playing like 2,000 games before you got max Battle Pass 1 to 100, which is absolutely ridiculous, but they decided to listen to people. Companies take out a fucking notepad and listen. Halo Infinite massively increases daily XP gains for Battle Pass progression. Amazing. Companies that listen to consumers. Oh my gosh. That is a fucking revelation. When did this start happening? This is my only complaint about the game. Was the shitty Battle Pass progression, and they fixed it. Another reason to simp for Halo Infinite. I mean, pat on the backs. It says 343 is attempting to react as quickly as possible to complaints about Infinite's Battle Pass and progression system. After an initial round of changes, even larger buffs are coming to XP gains, so long as you're logging in and playing daily, which isn't that ridiculous to think about, that like a game expects you to log in multiple times a week and actually play, obviously. It says the community manager laid out the changes late last night. The idea is that the first 6 Infinite games of the day will give an XP total above and beyond the 50 XP that matches are awarding now. And it says the first game is 300, second game 200, third 200, fourth, fifth, and sixth are 100, and the 7th plus is 50, so you're getting much more experience than you originally would. It says that's 1,000 XP every day from just playing 6 games alone with no other challenges completed, which of course you get progression for as well. A 2 times XP booster would make a total of 2,000, and since these amounts are guaranteed when playing games, it seems safe to use a booster on your first 6 games instead of praying you get the right maps and modes for challenges before the timer expires. We saw a year ago them release the trailer and kind of the short gameplay video for Halo Infinite, and a lot of people criticized it. It didn't look that great visually. It looked like it needed a lot of work, and they decided to delay the game 2 times after that. And they listened to consumers, they listened to players who said it didn't look good. They took the extra year, and they made the game perfect, because last year at this time, it was supposed to come out. Halo Infinite was supposed to be an Xbox Series X launch game, and unfortunately, it was delayed by a year, and I was really disappointed with that, but at the same time, I'd rather a game not be a Cyberpunk. And now they're listening to consumers again, and honestly, I have to give them props, because this system sounds much better than the way that it's been over the past, I believe, 2.5 weeks since Infinite's multiplayer launched, and I'm really, really happy to hear that they've changed the XP gains for the Battle Pass progression system. I do think that it could still be changed a little bit, but it's much better than no changes, and they said that they are still going to be working on making more changes. They're going to be working more on listening to feedback and trying to tweak it more, which is really, really great, and I'm really happy to hear about that. So that's all that I had to discuss with that. I'm sure, you know, next week when we, because yeah, it's next Wednesday. Next Wednesday when the campaign launches, I'm gonna be live streaming it 100% on release day. I'm super fucking pumped for it, but over the weekend I'll probably be playing it as well, and then I might do some more multiplayer so you guys will be able to see the new updated system. But I'm really impressed with their changes so far, and I hope they continue down that path, because it sounds really, really fucking positive. And as a player of this game who wants to simp for it, I'm really glad to hear that they're listening to feedback, and they're making the changes that people want. So, thumbs up 343. Great job. Oh my god, I actually praised a company today. I'm turning into a corporate shill, guys. Soon I'm going to be wearing a Halo shirt. Honestly, though, 343, reach out to me. I've been a Halo simp my whole life. I'll wear a t-shirt for a day. I have it. I don't know. Now, if I wear it, it's gonna sound super simpy. I actually own several Master Chief t-shirts. I'm sorry, guys. I am a little bit of a Halo shrimp, but that's okay. Everyone's got the weaknesses, right? Mine is Halo. Until they gender swap Master Chief. Which maybe one day will happen. Honestly, it's 2021. Nothing would surprise me at this point. I'm going to talk about Cyberpunk in 1 second. Yes, there are extensions to make YouTube dislikes visible again. But there's a lot of extensions. I don't really use extensions, because there's so many for so many different things, but there are extensions to make dislikes visible again. At least for now. People in 2021 would never be able to live in the Xbox 360 voice chat days, though. Xbox Live days were the most toxic of them all. People would never be able to survive during that time. They wouldn't. Everyone's very sensitive now. Yeah, listen, Nick. Don't give 343 any ideas. Listen. Don't. That message suddenly deleted. I don't know how it got deleted. It wasn't me. I would never censor someone's opinion. But also, there's a 343 developer in here screenshotting it as we speak, sending it to corporate, going, this is what the people want. Using the one example that you just said, and now they're gonna make a whole new spin-off series. I'm just saying. When it happens in 3 years, the next Halo game, I'm looking at you. Banned. They'll gender swap him into having no gender at all. You mean Xbox.com was not a healthy environment? It was healthy for some people to let their rage out so they wouldn't become a joker. Yes, actually, it was a healthy environment. 15,000 players on Cyberpunk. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna hide my display real quick so I can look at Steam. I didn't know if my account stuff was gonna pop up. What are player numbers? Cyberpunk 2077 player count. That's not counting like GOG and other platforms, but it hit 23K. Well, the 23K was the past 24 hours. Like 3 or 4 days ago, it actually, it was, yeah. See, because if you start going back, it's to like 30K, 26. Let's just for the lulls go, how do I do this? 6 months? Look at this! Yeah! It looks great, guys. Look at this. Sheesh. It almost hit 30K. Congratulations, CD Projekt Red, you've made it. We're gonna quickly read this Cyberpunk article. Now, as you guys know, I was really disappointed with Cyberpunk 2077. I did play it twice, and I wanted to love Cyberpunk. I live streamed it at launch, was super excited for it, and I thought at its core it had a lot of different cool ideas. But overall, it was just very disappointing. They scrapped a lot of systems because they didn't have enough time to finish everything they wanted. And all the major DLC has been pushed back by a year already, which is super, super upsetting. As someone who bought this game, was hoping it was going to be great. But it's had its highest player count in the last 9 months right now. Now, as you just saw, that doesn't necessarily mean high numbers, but we'll call it a W for CD Projekt Red. It says the sales and positive reviews are adding up, and now Cyberpunk 2077 is hitting a new player count peak on Steam that it hasn't seen since February 2021, 9 months ago. Don't forget, if you buy a copy of Cyberpunk for $10 for Cyber Monday week, that has been going on for 2 weeks now, okay? Some of that money goes to Keanu Reeves. While obviously the game will never match its launch era peak of over 830,000 players on Steam, the game has now peaked at 28,000 players in the last 24 hours, which is a high we have not seen since around mid-February 2021. I think that when they finally release... Listen, chat, you guys are making me laugh. I think when they finally release DLC, and I'm not talking like a fucking little train system. Oh my god, we added 3 new SJW haircuts to the game. No, I'm talking like actual content, like new gangs, new buildings, new areas to explore that you can probably play in 3 hours because it's a really underwhelming DLC release, new weapons. I think when they finally release that type of content, we will see players return to Cyberpunk. I truly think that we're going to see Cyberpunk go up to 200, 300,000 players on something like Steam. I think there's a lot of people who are really disappointed that are still willing, though, to give the game a chance because it's CD Projekt Red. But its numbers are slightly going up. They went up by a little bit. Not much, but a little. And to companies, a little is still progress. It says this is about double the numbers Cyberpunk has been putting up on Steam for a long while now. I personally don't own the game on Steam. I own it on GOG. Cloud World. I bought it on GOG because I wanted for all the money to go to CD Projekt Red. I wanted to support CD Projekt Red. Honk honk. It says, I don't believe that its daily peak on Steam has ever dipped below 10K for its entire lifespan. Numbers of most games, even live games, probably would celebrate, and it goes to show that there has been more consistent interest in the game than you might imagine, even with all the recent attention Cyberpunk has gotten. As you can see, all-time peak, 830K, 28,000 24-hour. It says, one fact though, Cyberpunk is actually behind CDPR's other on-sale title, The Witcher 3. That game That game just peaked at 31,000 players over the past day, though The Witcher 3 has always put up better numbers than Cyberpunk over the past year besides the immediate launch window. Witcher 3 is a much better game. Witcher 3 is truly a fucking phenomenal game, and Cyberpunk could have been so good if they just put more work and effort into it, and they just had to go and screw it up. They just had to fuck up Cyberpunk 2077. And it's really sad. It says the 50% off sale on Cyberpunk has brought a flood of new players to the Steam version to check out the fixed version of the game, which was already miles better on the PC than the console in the first place. That led to a flood of positive reviews, 84% over the last 30 days, and overall Cyberpunk boasts a 76% mostly positive rating on Steam. A far cry from how the console versions were received, but also a ways off from The Witcher 3's 97% rating, which will obviously never catch. Witcher 3 was a fantastic game, much better than Cyberpunk at this point in time. Do I think that Cyberpunk could be fixed and could be better? Yes, I do. I think that the base of it is decent, but it needs a lot of work still, and I truly kind of feel like The Witcher 3 will always be kind of better. It launched as a better game. It launched with problems, don't get me wrong, but it launched as a better game, and it is still a better game. But that's all that I had to talk about with Cyberpunk. We got cyber fucked with 2077, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. Maybe one day they'll finally decide to release DLC for it, and maybe I'll live stream the DLC, but it's been a year and there's no DLC. So we'll see what happens when it happens, if it happens. So, we still have 2 more topics for the evening, guys. We have Hawkeye and we have Spiderman. Hawkeye's going to be a relatively quick topic, just because I think that I'm going to be discussing it in a video tomorrow. But, yeah, we'll talk about Hawkeye in a second. No real major spoilers for the first 2 episodes that are up. But obviously, you know, fair spoiler alert in case it mentions something, but this article doesn't really say too much about the plot itself. We got fucking cyberpunked, yeah. We really did. That was so disappointing. So fucking disappointing. We're not talking about Cyberpunk anymore, though, guys. If I've ever had to go to anger management, it's for Cyberpunk 2077. That fucking game. We're just gonna leave it in the past. Twitter will say Hawkeye is doing so well. Actually a fact, though. Actually legitimate. They probably will. At the beginning of the stream, someone came in and said, "You're wrong. Hawkeye's doing great. What do you know about Hawkeye? Did you even watch the first 2 episodes?" Jeez. Yes, but jeez. People, so defensive. You don't have to be so defensive. I watch things that I talk about. Most of the time. 98% of the time. Very few franchises I don't actually watch the content before I talk about them. I think Doctor Who? Because I don't really talk about Doctor Who, though, anymore. I'll occasionally, but Doctor Who's a fucking mess. And I didn't play The Last of Us 2 when I talked about that. A year ago. A year and a half ago. I don't know what else, though. Bet this shit will get great ratings by critics. Actually true, though. I'm checking something really quickly. I'm checking Rotten Tomatoes to see if Hawkeye has yet a 90% critic score for 2 episodes, guys. 2 episodes and it deserves a 90%. I can't imagine with the rest of them. Wow, that's a banger of a series. Am I right, guys? Really quickly, if you're enjoying the live stream, give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Consider donating via Streamlabs. All donations pop up. $3 or more text-to-speech activates. Consider becoming a member of the channel via memberships. Links are in the description. We need 4 more likes on the stream to hit 100 likes, so give it a like. So, we're gonna talk about Hawkeye. Yeah, someone who was disagreed saying, "Did you even watch it?" Yeah. There's 2 episodes out. I've watched them. When does the 3rd episode launch? when do the episodes come out? Hold on, let me just... Hawkeye... Release dates. Wednesdays. So tomorrow. Wonderful. Great. Can't wait to spend my Wednesday watching that. Great. Wonderful. So, as you all know, Marvel has been in a bit of a disaster over the past couple years. And over the past couple months, there's been a lot of bad Marvel content. Going into Phase 4, I think we were all pretty optimistic, hoping that they wouldn't fuck it up, hoping that they'd respect these characters, that they still had the actors, and do good by the stories they were trying to tell. But we know how Marvel is, and we know what their plan is for Phase 4. It's become the MCU. Female characters the most important. We have actors throwing their characters under the bus like Benedict Cumberbatch. Him saying, oh, you know, Doctor Strange wasn't in WandaVision because of toxic masculinity and we didn't want to take away from the females' roles and blocka. It's all bullshit. But Hawkeye's finally released. Now, I've said it probably 100 times and I'll probably say it 100 more. But Hawkeye has never been my favorite character. Neither was Black Widow. For very simple reasons. Why would I want to watch a show about Hawkeye, a guy that has a bow and arrow, that isn't rich, handsome, or special, that doesn't have some extraordinary skills? Or why would I want to watch a movie about Black Widow, who I guess is a super spy, but doesn't have any powers, isn't that special, isn't rich and have special millions of dollars of equipment, when I could watch a fucking Sorcerer Supreme or a God of Thunder? You know, for me personally, I'm gonna go with the sorcerers and the gods and the cosmic beings. I'm not gonna go for a guy with a bow and arrow that's in his backyard shooting at tin cans. But Hawkeye is not doing great for Disney already, and it could do way better. Who knows what the numbers for the show will be. But usually when shows start and they launch, the numbers are great because people are super excited for projects. They want to watch the first couple episodes, and then interest starts to dwindle. But now, with Hawkeye, no, it didn't even get off to a great start. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about the MCU, we're talking about Disney, so their numbers are always going to be pretty decent. But Hawkeye has been a huge fail on Disney Plus so far. So, it says more bad news for Disney Plus and Marvel, as it has learned the woke Hawkeye series is a huge fail and is presently performing as the worst of the live-action MCU shows on the streaming service. Now, I've tried to give all of these shows a chance. WandaVision. I liked a lot of WandaVision. I thought it was decent. Disappointing. More disappointing ending. Falcon Winter Soldier. Bad. Hawkeye. Bad. Overall, not very impressed. Very depresso espresso. But it says Hawkeye, which stars Haley Steinfeld, and as Kate Bishop, who replaces Jeremy Renner's character in the MCU, basically a guest star on his own show, was watched by a whopping 40% less than Loki. Oh, Loki! I forgot about Loki! I knew there was something I was forgetting about. Loki. I was excited for Loki. I fucking love Loki. The Asgardians. These motherfuckers are so cool. Loki, the show where they, spoiler alert, use Infinity Stones as paperweights, and where he kisses himself. It's too weird for me. Not my thing. It says, though, that it was watched by 40% less than Loki, the previous MCU show on Disney+. It says, the info comes from Samba TV, who measures streaming service viewership, where the first episode number for Hawkeye trails the 5-day U.S. household viewership figure for Loki by 40%. Loki was watched by 2.5 million households, while Hawkeye was watched only by 1.5. I don't want to go there, guys. I don't want to go there. But do you know what other show debuted with 1.5 million viewers? Season 1? Batwoman. The number is also less than Falcon and Winter Soldier. 1.8 million, and WandaVision 1.6. WandaVision was not bad. It was definitely unique. It was original. It was a little bizarre at times. I liked it because I really liked the callbacks to sitcoms. I liked the style. I liked the different eras it was showing. I liked that. I get a lot of people wouldn't understand a lot of the references, wouldn't get it. I thought it was pretty cool. But it says 200K Marvel fans stopped watching Hawkeye on Disney+. What is also alarming for Hawkeye is that the second episode saw a drop of 200,000 viewers, as only 1.3 million stuck around to watch episode 2, but both the first and second episodes were released at the same time on Disney+, so that means 200,000 motherfuckers literally didn't even let it autoplay to the next episode. That's gotta feel bad. That's gotta feel bad. That's a ouchie, right? People didn't even want to let it autoplay to the next episode. People were like, one episode? I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I am not wasting my time with this. That is hilarious, at least in my opinion, because they were really hoping that it was gonna do good. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, guys. Listen, I have to do this. I'm so sorry. I have to bring up this for you guys, right? Batwoman. Season 1. Batwoman Season 1.
Can honestly probably think of 20 Marvel characters more deserving of a show than Hawkeye.
I agree. Christopher, thank you for the $10 donation. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Batwoman Season 1, Episode 1. 1.86 million viewers. Hawkeye was 1.5. First episode lower. Number 2. 1.45. Hawkeye. 1.3. Lower than Batwoman Season 1. That has gotta sting. That is gotta sting. I'm sorry. It says, though, the news about Hawkeye isn't too surprising, as fans don't want their favorite original characters replaced, and I agree. Based on the 2 episodes that are out, it seems like they're definitely going in the direction of replacing Hawkeye with Kate Bishop. And we already kind of knew that they were going to do that. But it's unfortunate because even though Hawkeye isn't the best character, why replace him at this point? It says, I watched the first couple of episodes and didn't think too highly of them. I just can't see Kate Bishop as a replacement for Clint Barton, who has been basically trained to be an assassin while Bishop received little to no training. Sure, the beginning montage showed her getting trained by who, and then we were told who she was, and then quite laughably we were shown her climbing buildings and fencing and beat up bad guys, but it didn't come off as organic and didn't sell me at all on Kate Bishop, and I agree. I felt like they're definitely trying to make everyone accept the fact that Clint is going to be gone, that they're not going with Hawkeye anymore, that they're going with Kate Bishop, and they're going with this new character, this new actress, they're starting over, and they're basically pushing out Clint. The thing is that they made this show titled Hawkeye, right? And clearly he's a part of it, but most of the first episodes are about her, explaining who she is, establishing her character. And to a lot of people, that's not amusing. And for me, that's not amusing. I'm not even the biggest fan of Hawkeye. But I still clicked on the show about Hawkeye to watch about Hawkeye. In the Hawkeye we know, in the Hawkeye that is at least half decent. It says, though, that again, just like Disney Star Wars, it's all in investor reports. Disney's most recent investor report shows that no one is subscribing to Disney Plus, and I did talk about that in another video, but their numbers are not growing, as they've projected and predicted. It says, as confirmed by Wall Street investors, the Marvel and Star Wars brands aren't bringing anyone into Disney Plus. So now Disney either is going to have to rethink its strategy if it wants to compete with Netflix, or Disney Plus will fail. And then it says, of course, fans are not happy with Marvel's woke approach. Spoiler alert, Captain America Steve Rogers replaced with, of course, POC Falcon with no powers. While the obvious choice Bucky would have made more sense, in my opinion, I agree. I felt like Bucky would have been the obvious choice that I would have been okay with. I don't hate Falcon, don't get me wrong. I just feel like he's not Cap. He's not the same. Bucky's closer. Iron Man killed off because Disney doesn't want to pay Robert Downey Jr. the big bucks, replaced with a POC teen Ironheart who steals Iron Man tech and for some reason is allowed to keep it. Absolutely fucking stupid story. It doesn't matter to me that she's a POC teen. It's the fact that she's a teen who steals Iron Man's tech and gets to keep it and, like, faces no repercussions. Black Widow was killed off and replaced, and her character is made fun of in her own movie. Again, they didn't want to have to pay Scarlett Johansson, and she is doing other projects, but she was kind of done with Black Widow. Hulk became goofy smart Hulk, unable to transform to Hulk in She-Hulk, essentially replaced by a female character. Thor became fat goofy Thor, female Thor Natalie Portman appearing in Love and Thunder, and Hawkeye seen above. And then there's Captain Marvel, who hates men. WandaVision, Doctor Strange wasn't allowed to appear because he's male. All these different things, which in my opinion just kind of have ruined the MCU and the magic that the MCU has had. Obviously, I'm going to keep watching Hawkeye. I'm going to try to give it a chance to see maybe if they can do good by these characters and make a good story. But at this point in time, I just don't see it. I'll probably end up talking about this in a video or talking about it further, but that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. I'm going to move into the final one in just a minute. Spoiler alert, guys. Potential spoilers ahead. I am going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home and some of the rumored leaks. How should I say this? Actually, some of the rumors, some of the supposed leaks, some of the potential spoilers that have released over the past couple of days, weeks. So, if you don't want any kind of potential spoilers, feel free to click off now. It's nothing that we haven't heard around the internet for months, though. And it's primarily surrounding Tobey Maguire's return, Andrew Garfield's return, and what they're going to do with Spider-Man No Way Home. You got your spoiler warning. Nothing's confirmed, but this also appears to confirm it. But, yeah. Spidey leaks. Spidey rumors, leaks, potential information. Go woke, go broke, 100% Doa. Isn't Peter in charge of Stark Industries at the moment, or am I crazy? He's supposed to be, yes. We don't know what they're gonna do with that. To me, that's a big reason why I'm not... I don't want to say I hate new Spider-Man, but it just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. You know? It just kind of feels like Stark's little bitch boy. I like that relationship dynamic between Stark and Parker, but I feel like him getting Stark Industries and getting all the tech and everything just isn't the story I would have loved. I agree. For me, my favorite Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire. I think that I think that truly those were the best Spider-Man movies. I feel like Andrew Garfield wasn't bad either, and Tom Holland isn't terrible, but Tobey will always be my favorite. The villains were fucking cool. The CGI looked good. The movies looked good. I thought that they were really solid films, and I like them. 100% my favorite. Very easy choice to make. Tobey Maguire. That's why I had to talk about it. You guys know I don't talk about rumors and spoilers a lot, but it better fucking be true. It better be true. Guys, they put the movie tickets on sale 2 days ago for No Way Home, right? And I was looking at them online, and there's still showings near me that aren't sold out for 3D. Tempting to swipe my credit card. My thing is that if all of these actors are in it, and it's as epic as it sounds, I 100% want to see it in theaters. But also, I really don't want to swipe my credit card for a $20 movie ticket if they're not going to be in it, because I'm literally going to regret sitting there probably watching it. I'd much rather just watch it at home or at some point down the line. If they are not in it, it's not a movie I need to see right away. But if they are in it, I need to see it the second it launches, the millisecond it releases. I need it. We'll see, though. We've still got a couple weeks. Oh, all these rumors and spoilers. Ooh, I'll disagree with Vara on one thing. I liked Holland way better than Garfield. I don't know. Tom Holland isn't bad. He's not my Spiderman, though. I liked Garfield, but Toby is number one. There's also time rumored for how long Garfield and Maguire are supposedly in the movie. But yeah. Alright, so this is a Bounding Into Comics article. Spider-Man No Way Home BarkBox promo art appears to confirm the return of Tobey Maguire. This is him. This is my Spider-Man. It says, despite the best attempts by Marvel, Sony, and Disney to keep his return under wraps, a new piece of promo art for Spider-Man No Way Home appears to confirm the debut of the original cinematic web-slinger himself, Tobey Maguire, in the MCU's upcoming multiversal crossover. I need it. This would be so fucking good. If this is true, this would be so good. That's my thing, is like, I want to be excited for it, and like, I want this to happen, but at the same time, I also don't think it's gonna happen, and I also feel like this is just us getting jerked around, and so we'll buy movie tickets, and then it ends up being a complete failfish. It says, shared to Twitter on November 24th by a user, the piece of promo art can be seen on an insert included in a recent edition of BarkBox, which saw Marvel team up with the dog toy subscription box service to send customers a special release filled with a number of Spider-Man No Way Home themed items for their K9 companions. I don't have a dog, but listen, I can buy this subscription box. I'm ready to swipe my credit card as well. The art itself features an image of Tom Holland's Peter Parker clad in the updated Iron Spider armor first seen in the film's trailer, torn, to reveal a black and white version of the same image below. It says, however, as noted by the user, the corner of the insert's rightmost tear features another Spider-Man jumping behind Holland, the one wearing the beloved raised web suit worn by Maguire in director Sam Raimi's version of the Wall Crawler. Now, obviously, take everything with a grain of salt. People get pretty conspiracy with things, right? But there's... How many fucking Spideys you see here? How many goddamn Spideys do you see here? So we know the black and white suit is the new one. We know that that's the new suit. But then, if you look at the right farthest one, it's a clipping from a newspaper. And it looks to be Mr. Spidey. Our Spider-Man. The real, one true Spider-Man, right? Now, of course, could be fake, could be not real, could be a misdirect, could be a who knows. But we need something to hold on to, because according to Vice, 2021 is the worst year, and Satan is about to rise from hell. And we need something to hold on to be happy about. It says, between this new art, Electro actor J.B. Fox's repeated teasing of multiple Spider-Man, a reveal of Maguire's Spanish-language voice actor that he would be dubbing the upcoming version of Spider-Man movie, and the studio's release of a trailer featuring a suspiciously edited showdown, it's apparent that Maguire's return to the role that helped launch a modern superhero cinema is all but outright confirmed. Here's also the video from the Brazilian version of the trailer, and a lot of people believe that this is edited. Some people believe that it truly is just him turning away from everything being ruined in the background. But there are a lot of people who also believe that there's a Spider-Man that was edited out, because it does kind of look like he got kicked or punched in the face. So that could be an edit. Marvel is known for creating trailers for movies and editing things out, piecing them together very specifically to make a movie look one way when it's completely another. They've done it several times, and we do know that they do edit footage. So that's the thing, is that it wouldn't be very surprising, in my opinion, if, you know, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield are in it, and these trailers are just edited in a very specific way, so that you can't see them and that they're not in here. But at the same time, it also wouldn't fucking surprise me that these actors aren't in this, and that they're basically banking on the fact that, well, people are selling out the movie tickets because they want to see it, thinking that these actors are in it. No Way Home is now the third highest pre-ordered ticket, MCU movie tickets, early ticket sales or something like that. It beat Endgame, it beat Infinity War, it beat Black Widow, it beat a bunch of the other MCU movies. Its ticket sales are crazy right now, and they've only been out for 2 days, and a lot of theaters are already sold out. People are scalping Spider-Man tickets, selling them for thousands of dollars online, which is crazy. I personally am a little conflicted with it because, again, while yes, if these actors are in it, it would be fucking incredible, and I would love to see it in 3D. I also don't want to spend the money on a movie ticket just to be disappointed because the actors aren't in it. I feel like a lot of people are going to be kind of in that same boat, really worried about, you know, should I really go see it? Because we know how Marvel is. They could be editing the other Spider-Man out of the trailer. They could be subverting our expectations. But they could also be milking the fact that people are really excited for these actors. And going, you know what? Well, I guess, you know, it's a way to sell tickets, and we don't see the actors in it, which would be really disappointing. But that's all that I really had to talk about tonight, you guys. Spider-Man, Marvel, Cyberpunk, Halo, Twitter, and also Cowboy Bebop. I'll read chat for a couple of minutes, 10-15 minutes, so if you guys have any questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, feel free to leave them in the chat. If you're enjoying the live stream, give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Consider donating via Streamlabs. All donations pop up. $3 or more text-to-speech activates. Consider becoming a member via YouTube memberships. All the links are in the description. And yeah, I'll chat for a few. Spider-Man 2 is still the best. I agree. Actually agree. Spider-Man 2 is an amazing movie. Doc Ock is super cool. Doc Ock is great. And big fan. I think that it's really cool that we're seeing him again, and we're seeing all these villains from the other movies, and it's exciting to me, but at the same time, as you guys can tell, I'm also very skeptical. Oh my fucking god, Toby's a bait and switch for Miles Morales. If they, I swear. If they do that, I swear. I will write a strongly worded Karen review on the movie. I don't leave movie reviews. I will leave a strongly worded review. That'll probably be removed. Yeah, funny how the tickets are only selling because of the other Spider-Man. A lot of people have a lot of high hopes. A lot of people are hoping that they're going to be in it, and I am too. I'm really hoping that the other Spider-Man are in it, and these other actors are in it. We'll see, though. I don't know. I think the movie will be good, at the very least entertaining. That's the thing, is that the other two Tom Holland movies weren't terrible, but they were boring compared to the other trilogies, in my opinion. Like, if you told me I had to watch the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies or the Tobey Maguire movies, I would pick the Tobey Maguire movies literally 99 out of 100 times. There are rumors about the time frames that they're going to be in the movie. So there are rumors that Andrew Garfield is going to be in the movie for 25 minutes and that Tobey Maguire is going to be in the movie for 21 minutes. Or maybe it's the other way around. One of them's supposed to be in the movie for 21 minutes and another's supposed to be in the movie for 25 minutes. I say make Tom Holland the Spider-Man that's only in it for 21 minutes, make Andrew Garfield 25 minutes, and make Tobey Maguire fucking all of the minutes. Because there's the grass is truly greener on the other side. When you pop in a DVD, a Blu-ray, because you guys make fun of me for calling it DVDs, if you pop that into, you know, your DVD, Blu-ray, Xbox, PlayStation players, and you watch that shit, just the Maguire movies are infinitely better. Tom Holland Spider-Man isn't bad. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is good. But Tobey Maguire's better. I quite like Tom Holland. Yeah, I don't think he's bad. I do like him as an actor. I feel like he's not that bad as Peter. But I think for me, it's just the direction they're going in with... I liked, again, the Stark-Parker relationship. But now that he's got Stark Industries and he's supposed to be help running it with Pepper, and we're seeing kind of him get all that technology, it just doesn't feel as special to me. I don't think he sucks. I just think he's not the best. HD DVD. I called it a DVD. I said DVD the other day, and everyone was like, LOL, she still calls it a DVD. It's a Blu-ray disc. So sorry for triggering you guys. Any truth that there will be a new Spidey trilogy after this? There has been no official confirmation. There's been no deals signed. A couple weeks ago, there were rumors going around that Tom Holland didn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. 2 or 3 days ago, we heard that apparently he was going to be doing another trilogy, but none of it's been 100% confirmed. They haven't released any information like, oh, he signed for another trilogy. So we don't really know at this point what they're going to do. But we'll see. Tom Holland as Iron Man Jr., not Spider-Man. I like him as Spidey. I just feel like he's not the best one. Yeah, you guys were making fun of me for saying DVDs. Everyone was saying, oh, everyone watches Blu-rays now. I was like, okay, guys. Look at you all getting triggered at me. I still call them DVDs, but that's just me. You guys know what I mean. You guys understand. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, Hollywood doesn't like redheads anymore. It's very unfortunate. Guys, I'm thinking about dyeing my hair blue. I'll be a real SJW. I'll fit right into the party. You guys won't even be able to tell the difference. I don't know. I hope that all of the actors are in this film. I feel like that's the only way that people are going to be super happy with the movie. Even if they're only short cameos. But only time will tell, and it doesn't come out for another 3 weeks? 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks, so. We'll see. I hope it's a good movie, though. Obviously, I hope every movie's good. Even if we know how Marvel is. We know how Disney is. I still want it to be good. Shave the side of your head too, Vara. Tila for Halloween. Next year, guys. Hope you're ready. It's gonna be a no from me. I mean, blue hair is really cool, but it's... I've talked about it before. Blue is co-opted. So is pink. All these hair colors are co-opted now. You look at someone with blue hair and you think one specific thing. The hair color itself is pretty fucking cool. But we know how that is. That's how it goes. But yeah, if you guys have any last minute questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, feel free to leave them in chat. I'll be wrapping up in a few, but not quite yet. Oh no! Listen, guys. You have some great, creative, unique ideas in chat, but also it's not happening. Yeah, I gotta start taking the steroids if I want to really be Tila. I have to get into shape. I gotta get jacked quickly. Blue was great before Psychos ruined it. Yeah, feels pretty bad, man. Feels pretty bad. Thank you, Doa, for the $25 donation. Much appreciated. No text-to-speech, though. But that's okay. Thank you. Tila. Guys. Did you see, what's his name? Kevin Smith? Did you see Mr. Irrelevant Smith's tweet about how, oh, you know, with part 1, I saw so much backlash around Masters of the Universe Revelation, but part 2, it seems that all the haters have ditched and stopped, you know, leaving nasty comments, and everyone really likes part 2. Have you seen the fucking review scores, the user review scores, Kevin Smith? I don't think he has. How about your natural hair color? This is my natural hair color. What are you talking about? This is my natural hair color. It's up to you, Vara, to change how people see blue hair. Listen, I'm not sacrificing my life for other people to see it a specific way, because it's never gonna happen. Personally, I like a lot of the MCU films, but I do think that Disney could do better if they wanted. As for Star Wars, they completely ruined Star Wars. Yeah, it's hard because I feel like they could do better with franchises, but at the same time, I also feel like they can't. Like, I feel like they could come up with better ideas and general plots and ways to market movies, but at the same time, it's like they don't want to hire the writers who actually know what the fuck they're talking about, which is the problem. No one hated it. It's a triumph. Absolutely bonkers statement from Mr. Kevin Smith himself. Kevin Smith. Let me find the tweet. Means the world, or rather the universe. My likes are filled with love for Revelation. After part 1, I had to wade through some bile to read positive reactions, but since part 2 dropped, the anger directed at me in July seems to have subsided for season 2. That is an abomination. That is not good. We'll just put it that way. Not good. Not it. Doc Ock and Spidey 2 probably best, but Spidey 1 and William Dafoe as Goblin not far behind. I agree. I like William Dafoe. I feel like this may be a little bit of a hot take, but go green. Green is a terrible hair color. Not as a hair color, it's fucking awful to deal with. Green fades to gray. Green fades to grayish, greenish, brownish sludge. If you do not dye your hair once a week, green will fade to the most disgusting color you've ever seen. Blue fades to gray as well, but blue actually fades into a color first. So blue will go from like the dark blue to like a lighter pale blue, and then it'll go to gray. But green goes from green to dog shit very quickly. Green is terrible. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Yep. Hevelin. Shevelin. That's how it goes. Shevelin. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. But that is just, it is a disgrace. It is a fucking mess. Hevelin. Who thought that was a great idea? I kind of agree William Dafoe is amazing, though his Green Goblin reminded me of more DC's Joker than a Green Goblin type of character. I kind of agree. I feel like he plays that role really well, though. Who wins in a fight, Doomslayer or Master Chief? The problem is that Doomslayer used to just be a guy, and now he's chosen by the angels. So Doomslayer, because Master Chief is literally just a guy. But it used to be Doomslayer was just a guy versus it used to be a cool question because it was just a random guy versus a random guy, the guy who was there. But now you've got Master Chief was chosen by generals, and you've got Doomslayer was chosen by angels, and it's not a cool question anymore. Changing canon, not very good. Yeah, blue goes all silvery. It goes from like a darker blue to like a lighter, palish, silvery blue, and then it just goes to gray. It's actually disgusting. Vara is currently sporting the stylish Clifford hair. Actually, I'm sporting more of the pumpkin hair. But guys, new Minecraft update came out. Caves and Cliffs Part 2. And now I can play Minecraft and make a little pumpkin village again. Sounds very nice. Sounds very cool. Actually exciting. I haven't played Minecraft in a long time. I need to start playing it again, though. I've been playing Animal Crossing, which is great and all. But also, Animal Crossing. I'm not sure what I'm going to be playing this weekend, still. But next week's Halo Infinite. Which I forgot about. I thought Halo Infinite was next Friday. It's not. It's next Wednesday. So I will be streaming next Wednesday. And this week, guys, I'm going to be streaming on Thursday and then Saturday and Sunday. I will update you all with what I'm going to be streaming. And then next week, pretty busy schedule. I'm going to be streaming Tuesday. I am going to be doing my weekly discussion stream, just like tonight. Wednesday, I will be doing my Halo Infinite start stream, and then I will be playing Halo Infinite again probably Saturday, Sunday, or maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, time to start a new Minecraft playthrough with all the new update. Like I think there's a new mob and new animals and the caves and the cliffs and the differences and too much stuff to list off, to be honest. Exciting though. I might stream it at some point, maybe for like one odd day, but we'll see. But alright, you guys, I'm gonna end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. Thank you for the donations, for just the general support tonight, guys. Thank you for the likes on the live stream. Again, if you enjoy the discussion streams next week on Tuesday, I will be doing another, like I do almost every week. I will let you guys know for the rest of the streaming schedule for the week. Blah. My schedules during the day got moved around a little bit. But, I'm not sure exactly which topic I'm going to discuss in a video tomorrow. It's either going to be Spiderman or Hawkeye, but I will, of course, let you guys know. Any other updates? I don't really think so. So yeah. Alright, guys. Thanks for stopping by today. Much appreciated. Check out the links in the description. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey. Join our Discord server. We're very active there. I do tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live streams, because of course YouTube likes to not notify people of content that I put up. Check out yesterday's video if you didn't see it, or the past few days worth of videos. And yeah, thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic evening, everyone.